Welcome, everybody, to the Steven podcast, a podcast that has grown 8,000% in the last 2 months, which means we're the fastest growing podcast ever. Let's keep it moving that way. Subscribe and thumbs up all our videos. Even if you think we're shitty, which I agree. See, I was in a bad mood when I wrote this. We're not shitty.
We're not. We're just doing our best.
We need the algorithm love if we're ever going to be famous. And you're going to want us to become rich and famous, because as soon as I'm in a position of power, I'm going to clap back at the Hollywood pedophiles every day on Twitter. And here's a promise to you, the fans, when we get to 100,000, just 1,000 subscribers. I'll let Steve put a loaded gun in my mouth and I'll say, do it, bitch, do it. Here's another more immediate promise to you, the fans and first-time listeners. This will be our greatest episode ever. All right, hold on. I told Steve to bring over his boxing gloves today because things might get a little contentious. I actually didn't, because things aren't going to get contentious.
Ooh,
I just thought that was a funny thing to put in there.
Gotcha.
We're fine. I'm getting used to the new seating arrangement here. Folks, I'm a natural-born performer. I've only ever been told to shut up and stay lockstep with the rest of the buffoons in grade school, in college, in the line at the DMV by an obese Mexican woman with a pencil mustache, and by my family and so-called friends. I'm not putting on a front to be more outrageous today, but today is the start of a new era of this podcast. Which is funny because I'm not letting anyone get in the way of the new me. I'm going to be head bobbing like a black lady. I'm going to be emotive, and I'm finna be real expressive now, y'all. I don't know what I was going for there. But you see, I'm manifesting a dream in this episode. I'm going to let you talk, Steve, in just 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'm manifesting a dream, and in that dream, there's a giant box. And in that box, there's a girl's head and a man's head sitting inside. They're talking to one another endlessly because they're two heads and stuck in a box for eternity, alone together forever. I walk across the room and I pick up the box. They find a break in their conversation. They stop and they both look at me with flint-eyed seriousness. You ever heard that? Flint-eyed?
I haven't.
I was on a thesaurus today, folks. They stop and they both look at me with the flint-eyed seriousness. The girl looks. I thought this fact might be worth mentioning, said the girl in the box. The human mind can conceive of many impossible things. That's right, said the man in the box. When it comes to the actual experiences of your life, most of it is a dream. And that's what we're providing you today. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I didn't really think that one through. But
that's okay. Hey, you stuck with it. I think as long as you stick to the bit, who cares if it has to be funny, you know?
It wasn't. Do you want to do news from the get-go? Because I don't really have any news. I don't think you do either.
Let's get it out of the way. Let's think. Dr. Oz had a debate last night. I believe he's running for senator in Philadelphia. His hang on. You know what's cool about this computer is you can just type in Dr. Oz on DuckDuckGo, and guess what? I get the person's name.
His name's Mehmet. He's Turkish.
Whoa.
Thought he was, I don't know what I thought he was. Mehmet.
Using Yahoo News here to get the other guy's name.
Are we figuring out what he's running for? He's a Republican.
Yes. Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, have you watched any clips of the debate?
No.
Okay, well.
I didn't even know I think I'd heard he was running, so I don't know nothing about this.
The only thing I knew is that John Fetterman had a stroke semi-recently before the debate, and he could not even finish sentences during the debate. And so they had to do this whole thing where it was like Fetterman's team says that it's incredibly brave for him to even stand up on the stage and debate Dr. Oz, because we believe he's going to win in the Senate, even though he may lose tonight's debate. But I mean, it was awful. Jesus, I don't even know who he is.
Christ,
He looks like a WWE wrestler. I don't know if that's
actually
looks like
true.
true.
He's like anorexic Goldberg.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not even that small. Just that photo I was looking at.
He's huge. He's a big.
He looks fucking weird. What is his ethnic background? That could be just what this show turns into.
Yeah.
We just find celebrities and guess where they're from, where their ancestors are from.
Oh, okay. Here's another thing.
Looks...
According to, look, we're not using New York Times, CNN. I'm using Yahoo News for this one. Fetterman requested the aid of a text scroll, paused often while searching for words, and garbled more than a few lines, including his greeting. So I think a text scroll. So I think he had a teleprompter. I don't know if that's what it's trying to say, but I mean, they gave him a significant handicap, and He was like worse than like Biden when Biden was debating Trump. I mean, it was like I would have felt uncomfortable being Dr. Oz, because it's like, how am I supposed to like make fun of this guy when he like clearly like can't even talk?
Wait, so he's a Democrat? Oh,
Yeah.
duh, general election. See, that's how much I don't know what's going on. So yeah, Dr. Oz is Republican. Okay.
Yeah.
Has he been anything else before? Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania. Oh, that's what he is now.
Yeah.
Oh. So what's his deal? Is he just retarded or something? Or?
Yeah, he had the stroke and it just
Dude,
like made
I'm
him retarded for the debate.
Never going to get through an episode without saying retarded.
I know.
I think
it's hard to do.
It is.
We should do like a telethon where it's like, how long can we do an episode without saying retarded?
Well, and I don't want to get people too excited, but no N-word November
That's
coming
true.
up. So stop saying it for a month, just for a month.
Yeah, seriously. It's not that hard.
And if you do keep tally and make a comment in the comment section about how many times you did say it.
Yeah.
But there's no shame. Just be honest. It's a gentleman's game.
It's kind of like the garden video. People leave comments. They're like, I first got into the garden in 2012 when I and actually bumped into both of the twins and they recommended me their music. Share a story like that. Like, oh, last week I said it when, I don't know. I was carrying something and I dropped it and I didn't think of anything else to say. So I just said it.
I was just making sure we were recording.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Were we going to, did you want to, the Tim Dillon, do we have any updates? I just feel like it's been so long,
you know what,
Tim
Dillon is a podcaster. No, Ben, he is working, I think he is working as like an editor for Kyle Dunnigan. The guy who does like the Snapchat face filters of like Joe Biden and Ben Shapiro and Bill Maher. Yeah, his name has been credited in like the past few videos.
That makes me sad because I think I don't like that guy if I'm thinking of the right person, and I like Ben and his Uggo brother. But sorry, that was not necessary.
Yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings on him. Like he does good impressions, but I don't know. Kyle Dunnigan.
And Tim Dillon, he's the fat lesbian woman, right? I just had to put that in there. Look, here's the deal. So did you watch that clip from Barstool Yak or whatever with Owen, who's Tim's new producer?
Yeah, I did. Of him announcing it?
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, so he sits on that show. That's the show they do every single day, 5 days a week, like for at least an hour. They've done some longer ones. And he just sits there the whole time, doesn't say anything. And then he's also a producer. I think he does an okay job producing. He produces like these two Cumtown knockoffs, which a lot of people out there are saying we're a Cumtown knockoff podcast. We're not. Okay.
We're a Cumtown knock on, as in we're knocking on Adam and Nick's door to see if they'll let us join their podcast.
Honestly, I would start editing if it was for the Adam Friedland show. Maybe not for this shit, but no, we're not a Cumtown knockoff. Yeah. No. So I don't know. I've never liked this guy. So I was like very annoyed, but he's a little twinky. So I mean, twink like -y, like he's twink-ish.
Yeah.
So Tim could have a lot of fun.
I'm twink. That's how Kanye West would say.
Hey, yo, he's twinking out here.
Not twink-ish, twink.
He's all twink. Yeah. So did you hear the Numa Numa guy? You know the Numa Numa? You hear he died from a heart attack?
No, I did not.
Yeah, that's made up. But
okay.
I don't know why I thought of that.
The double rainbow guy? He died.
That's crazy. I forgot about that video. Not that I'm like gonna go watch it later because whatever. But at the time, whenever auto-tune shit started, like on YouTube back, what was that, like early 2010s, right? Like 2011.
Yeah, Schmo Yo Ho. That was the YouTube channel that would like auto-tune the news.
Yeah, some of those were funny. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
back in the day when I was a baby. Okay, but yeah, sad to hear about the Numa Numa guy. How about instead of this? See, I'm in my throwaway bits section right now, so this isn't even news.
That's all right.
But thank you for joining us for the news. We're still in the news, but I'm going to be saying non-news things. How about instead of Elroy Jetson, it's L. Ron Jetson. He starts a fake religion like Scientology because L. Ron Hubbard.
Okay, that was the guy. I thought Aleister Crowley did.
No, he was
Satan.
He was Thelema.
Oh.
Which I think is like satanic adjacent, maybe.
Gotcha. Adjacent. You like that word, adjacent.
Yeah, I got to stop saying it.
It's okay.
You know who got that in my head was a little 5'4" midget that we both know.
Okay.
He used to say that. Adjacent? It's adjacent to this.
Adjacent?
Yeah, I like it. Well, it's a good word. I like it.
It is. I don't say it a lot. That's why I noticed when you were saying it. Like Daichu tried saying.
We need to enter the soundboard era soon of this podcast. That's not news again, but
That's like teasing an upcoming story. Us getting the soundboard.
Yeah, that is going to be big news. That'll probably lead the news on that day.
And lead every other segment of the podcast, just different sounds.
It's going to be great because I'm just going to record everything I want to say on the soundboard, and then I won't have to show up for recording.
So I'll just show up to your
I won't
house.
Be here. I'll be
come
getting
to your
laid.
house, yeah.
I'll be getting laid somewhere else. I don't have a beef of the week. It's certainly not my co-host.
You want to save it for another day?
Say something. What do you have to say? I have
What do I have to say about what? Like the news or anything?
Yeah. What else? I mean,
I guess the only news that I've been following, I've just been watching. I can't stay away from these Kanye West interviews.
Mm-hmm.
I tried watching his Revolt interview, but they took the video down. I guess it wasn't YouTube who took the video down. I don't know if that's fully true, but that's what Kanye was saying. He went on Piers Morgan's show. He did like what, 2 hours, an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
First hour, pretty rough. It's just Piers trying to talk over. He does this thing where he'll ask a question, person starts answering, and then he just like fires off with like 10 other questions. I saw it when I was watching this clip where he had Andrew Tate on, Piers Morgan did, and he's like, so you like Alex Jones, you are fond of his work, and oh god, here we go. I'm gonna try this Andrew Tate impression, and he's like, I like Alex Jones. I like Alex. I can't do it without being Australian.
Is he Australian?
No, he's not. He's like Romanian and British, but he might have been born in America.
He does have a weird.
He has like a mix. Alex has been nice to me, and so I've been on his show, and I respect him in that one courteous way. And then Piers Morgan was like, "Oh, so you support him denying Sandy Hook that children died? You also deny it?" And then he's like, "This is one of these debate tactics trying to defame me, and I'm not going to fall for that, Piers. Piers, you're trying. Well, is it really?" And that's like the rest of that interview. Eventually, Piers calms down when he's talking to Kanye, and they kind of actually talk some things through. And there were some good things in that interview. But
does Kanye open up a little bit? Because I've only watched like the first 45 minutes probably of it.
Yeah, he does.
Because he's a little bit closed off, and I get it because I know Pierce is like a major cocksucker because what he does is like what you said with his questioning. He'll just like trap people or whatever. He's like asking questions to get them to say whatever.
And I truly don't understand like how his show, it's like called the Uncensored Show. So he's like trying
But he is British, so that's like barely censored or barely uncensored.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, like why is he trying to associate with like the intellectual dark web people? I don't know, because to me he seems like any other like CNN like shit lib.
Is that where he was originally when he was in America? Was he on CNN or was he on MSNBC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he might have been on both, but CNN was like his most prominent.
He is like weird about like championing free speech, and he just like doesn't at all.
Right.
Like the fact that Alex Jones got sued is like the biggest bullshit ever, and then the fact that Kanye is going to get sued by George Floyd's family. It's like, why can't people just say what they want, even if it's patently not true? Because we all know on that fateful day, George Floyd was crushed to death by a knee.
Yeah.
That's one thing you don't wake up in the middle of the night scared of. Like having a nightmare about getting your fucking
giant knees.
What was the thing though? Did you do any more research on this part of the interview where he says something about like George Floyd like prayed extra long that day or some shit?
That came from the Candace Owens documentary on George Floyd, which I will kind of mention this now. So I recently watched Kanye West on Lex Friedman's podcast, and the whole time they're kind of like talking out issues, and Lex keeps bringing up the Holocaust, and Kanye keeps bringing up what he says is the current Holocaust against black babies because of the abortion rates being so high. And no matter how many times they kind of like get away from that topic, it always kind of comes back to that. And there's this one part in the interview that is it's honestly like incredible. So Kanye gets pissed off. He starts yelling at Lex, and Lex says something like, "You don't trust me?" And Kanye's like, "Fuck no, I don't trust you. Like, I don't trust anybody." And then there's like a moment of silence, and then Lex goes, "You know, I did watch that Candace Owens documentary on George Floyd," and Kanye's like right back in. It's like the things that Kanye West will literally talk about in all of these interviews. It's the George Floyd documentary, and Apple, of course, he always talks about Apple, but specifically how we as human beings are God's iPhone 100. He literally says that same exact thing in all of them. So the second Lex brings up the George Floyd documentary, Kanye's like right back in, like ready to keep continuing the podcast. And he's like, "You did? What'd you think?" And Lex was like, "Well, I think it's important to like question, historical events, but I still think he died from Derek Chauvin's knee."
That
And then Lex shows emotion a few minutes later and he goes, "I'm not going to lie. It really hurt my feelings when you said you didn't trust me." And Kanye was like, "Well, I don't trust anybody. Like, I literally can't trust anybody because everybody has like fucked me over." So, and then Lex was trying to like maintain a friendship with him. Because that's the funny thing about like Kanye West going off the rails is that, again, when all the intellectual dark web people are trying to interview him and they're going up to bat and they're like, "Okay, well, we'll still like condemn him for the anti-Semitic remarks." At the end of the day, they still want to be someone who is friends with Kanye West. So it really puts all of them in such a weird position. And it's just kind of fascinating to see.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
before you get too much further away from it, the thing where like, this is like the easiest way. And I like Kanye and I think he's like a musical genius at least and an interesting person. And I don't really give a fuck what he says in terms of like nobody should care that much.
Right.
Like, this shouldn't be like everybody's thinking about it multiple times, even though this is the second time we've talked about it.
Yeah.
But it's fine. We get to be hypocrites because we have a podcast and
boom.
that's the way it works. Okay. True. We have 70 subscribers. Actually,
80. We hit 80.
We hit 80.
Milestone.
We're only going up, folks. Except when we go down one subscriber now.
Until our first.
No, I was gonna say this is like the easiest way to like suss out somebody who's kind of a narcissist is like the shit where like he mentioned one thing Kanye likes and immediately he was like back in on it or whatever. So yeah, and then Lex Friedman's a weirdo too. So I can't imagine. I am gonna watch that interview, but I'm not looking forward to it. But there's one interview I was thinking of, sorry too, on Lex Friedman. I just thought of where who was he interviewing? I'm not gonna remember, but he was like, "Yeah, sometimes I just get up at like 3 a.m. and I'll go to Quick Shop or a gas station near you, and I'll get like a slushie or some shit." I don't know. It's just he says it in this very boring way. And then he's like, some guy.
That was Lex talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, some guy came up to me and was like, "Can I blow you?" or something like that. So that's actually happened. See, this is the problem is I've started to like delve into bits more.
Yeah.
And then it's like mixed reality, which is what we're going to be living in soon anyway. But that's fine. This is what social media is. The hot girl's not that hot in real life. She absolutely fucking uses Face app.
That's true. And okay, something else I will say about Lex. I feel like out of all the people who have interviewed him, Kanye, Lex had like, I don't know, he was like funny. Like he would banter with Kanye and like had a sense of humor. And where like I feel like when Tucker Carlson interviewed him, it was like Kanye would say like, I don't know, like the Democratic Party wants to control black people. And that was a bad impression, but that's okay. But then it would just like cut to Tucker Carlson to Tard Carlson, just like laughing or like grinning. And he's like, "Oh, don't finish, keep going."
I didn't think that one was very good.
Yeah, I
didn't think Tucker got enough out of him, but
I want to know how much they had to cut out of him like talking about Jews.
That's true.
And then another thing, sorry, about the Lex podcast that was so funny. So Kanye just kept saying like, "Yeah, the Jewish media were after me," and then Lex was saying, stop calling it the Jewish media. And he's like, "Okay, fine, JM. The JM were after me." But it was funny.
Damn, that is that's crazy.
It's like
he's like not dying. He's like gonna stay on this.
I know,
for a while.
Yeah.
Until he has something new come out, and then he'll probably be off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on Kanye?
So I've listened to like maybe 3 of his albums, I guess. But I feel like
recently, you mean?
No, just like
total?
like in my life, I guess.
Whoa.
Well, okay, I've listened to like College Dropout, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. What's the one that he made? Was it just called Yay? That came out in like 2018.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Jesus is King.
Bad.
And
Donda.
I actually never listened to Donda.
The 3 best albums, and I could probably do like a whole thing on Kanye albums because I've listened to all of them at least 10 times probably. Maybe not Yay, not the last like 3 or 4 like. But yeah, the first 2 are like can be coupled together pretty good. College Dropout and Late Registration. Both have the fucking mascot bear on them.
Yeah.
Those are like two great ones, and they're like the most sincere, like young Kanye, and he's like just coming up. But then like Fantasy, I think is probably, I think it's considered the best, but I don't know. It just depends on what era you like. But yeah, I like Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Great music. What else?
Great artist.
Were you gonna say something else?
No.
Okay,
I don't know.
I thought I cut you off.
No. Did I have anything else? Did I bring anything? Like, I know I said I didn't have anything, but I had some stuff like I was mentally thinking about.
Here's something for you. Here's some wisdom I can impart on you.
Okay.
This is my rant about Tuesdays, because recently we've moved our recording day from Tuesday to Wednesday, and I sort of have this thing where I hate Tuesdays. Okay.
Is this real? Is this unironic?
I mean, what are you asking of me right now?
Like,
you're gonna.
What if I don't like recording on Wednesdays and I want to go back to Tuesdays? What are my odds of that happening?
I tell you to go fuck yourself.
Okay. So that's that's the Tuesday stance. Okay.
We're doing Wednesdays from now on. I don't really care. I mean, this is the problem.
It's Monday, folks.
Just ask me after the pod if I'm serious or not.
I like asking while we're recording.
No, but I'm doing
it's bit. It's a litmus
But here's
test.
the thing. I do hate Tuesdays, and I do think that they're worst days. And here's some wisdom I can impart upon you. It actually comes from one of Jordan Peterson's 12 rules for life. And I know we're not supposed to mention them anymore. Like, we're
never compete on Tuesdays. Is that what is?
No. So it's rule 12. And you'll know this. I know this is one of your favorite books. This rule number 11. Never play wiffle ball with gypsy children. You remember that one?
Yeah, of course. How could I forget?
I actually haven't read his book, but this is one of my 33 rules for life, and it goes like this. And this is a true thing that I live by, even though I'm kind of making this up on the fly, or I've just thought this out recently. This is definitely something I believe, and it's called
Real for the Podcast.
No, it's real and real. It's real for the podcast, and it's real for real life.
Okay.
This is the rule. It's create ritual out of the inevitable. Okay, I'll get to that. I'll explain it. So Tuesdays are the worst day of the week. I think we can all agree on that. Except that I know Tuesday's not your least favorite day. So
right. But I will say that a lot of the times, like for the past like 5 years, Wednesday has been like my day where I do like all of my like media stuff. Like even in college, it was like Wednesday was like my bulk day. So
you don't like Wednesdays?
I do like Wednesdays.
Okay.
Actually. So I like both of them.
Okay.
But continue.
I think we can all agree that Tuesdays are the worst.
50%.
Everyone except for Garfield.
Spyro.
Everyone except for Garfield. Remember Garfield? The cat?
Yeah.
He
hated Mondays.
Whose cock do you gotta suck to get some lasagna around here?
Whose cock you gotta suck to change it to Tuesday?
I don't remember how he talks in the movie.
Bill Murray.
Whose cock do you gotta suck to get? Oh, Bill Murray's a piece of shit. We should have gone through that.
Oh my gosh. You know, one time I was
No, Tuesdays.
Okay, all right. But we need to bring up
Garfield
Bill Murray
is
again.
wrong, okay? Mondays are fine. Mondays, not that bad. Here's why Monday's not bad. Everybody goes, oh, Mondays. Okay, on Mondays, you're well rested. You just had 2 days off.
Fresh start.
And even though you have a long week ahead of you, everything seems tolerable at least.
Yes.
You're like, whatever. But Tuesday mornings when you wake up aren't well rested anymore, and you have 4 work days in front of you, and you know every single one of them is going to suck. Tuesday's the worst. Monday is probably the second worst day of the week. Wednesday's the third worst. So Tuesday gets an added shit boost multiplier because it's between the next 2 worst days, being in between Monday and Wednesday and just being a shitty day. The rest of the week's great. You can find great things to say about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're all great. So the rule is create ritual out of the inevitable. So, and I am just kind of making this up, but I believe it and I preach it to the world, and I'm preaching right now. When there's some unavoidable aspect of your life, then you do something ritualistic to like manage it. So I know that I'm a miserable human being, but it's much easier to prevent myself from being miserable if I can tell myself, save it for Tuesday. So all my grief and all my anger and all my whatever is left for Tuesday, and I let Tuesday be my shitty day. So I swear to God, you make me move. That's why we moved it to Wednesday. Wednesday is not bad. Wednesday is really not that bad because it's like being at the top of a giant slide, and all you see is the slope down. You're like, boom, it'll be down soon. That's a terrible analogy. But anyway, rank your days of the week.
Okay. Top 10 days of the week. Here we go. So number 10 would probably have to be, I do like Sunday, but there's something about like the Sunday depression of like knowing you have to go to work that just ruins it. And I also kind of don't like Fridays because Friday it's like, okay, so I've got Saturday or maybe Saturday afternoon, because Saturday afternoon is when I start to realize, oh, tomorrow's Sunday and you don't really have that day, which is why the 5-day work week was designed by Satan. I think, was that actually designed by Henry Ford?
Probably he hated Jews too, just like Kanye.
Which is weird because you would think he would not advocate for like a 5-day work week, but whatever. Whatever. You and your car, you idiot.
I think we should have a 2-day work week and get the rest of the week off.
I do hear people unironically talk about that.
I know.
I wanted to say before we get back to this story about Bill Murray. So one day I was at McDonald's, right? And I got my food and I was eating my food, right? I've got my large fry, fresh out of the fryer, freshly salted, so delicious, right? Bill Murray walks in and I'm by myself. He sits in the chair across from me, grabs one of my fries, takes one bite, and he goes, "No one will believe you."
And that really happened?
This totally happened. Do not look up Bill Murray McDonald's because that's not where I got that from.
Because I was at a Walmart one time and I was shopping for Oreos, and he came into he was standing there in the aisle, and he opened the package. He took 3 out and said, "Nobody will believe this." So I guess that's just his thing, huh?
Yeah. One time I was walking to work, and he was raping a woman, and she was crying for help, and he looked down at her and said, "No one's going to believe you." And then he looked up at me and he winked. And I just wanted him to like sign my copy of Ghostbusters, but I didn't have it with me, so it was a very strange thing.
Best movie ever.
Yeah, best movie of all time.
That's why we didn't mention it in the Halloween episode last week.
Yeah, it's too good. It's because Ghostbusters is not a Halloween or scare. It's a movie. It has transcended the genre.
Well,
it
that's
has
crazy.
Everything in it.
That's crazy because Bill Murray was my dad growing up.
And he said, "No one will believe you."
When you said nobody will believe you. And that's why my name's Steve Murray.
Yeah. I was thinking about what our last names are, and because I forgot.
I think I'm going to out myself eventually, but I sort of feel like we're almost going to get into a pickle because we're already Steve and Steven. I'm sort of thinking just going by my name, or at least like my sort of faux name, my Snapchat name.
Steven.
Steven E, like a sort of play on my last name though. Anyway. Bill Murray's fucking great. But what's his deal? Why is everybody mad at him? What did he do?
I don't know.
I think he was just an asshole on set or something. Maybe he raped a few people.
Yeah. Whoops. Hey, yo.
Date rape is not cool.
My bad.
But create ritual out of the inevitable. There's a lot of things in your life. And this really is a true thing I think that you should subscribe to. Ritual is important in our lives.
Yes.
And so you need to create them for yourselves. Just like we record this podcast every Wednesday. But if you want to move back to Tuesday, we can. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I do prefer Wednesday, but I don't give a fuck.
I'll keep it on Wednesday until I have 2 bad Wednesdays.
Let's get into, if you don't mind, I'd like to get into, you're going to want to, when you clip this, Spyro, you're going to want to call this Stephen the Asian Apologist and a rebuke to the letter R's self-righteousness or something stupid.
Okay.
I have a thing with the letter R. I'm going to be coming to the defense of Asians here.
Okay.
Because we're always kind of giving them shit. Not me, but we're always giving them shit.
Not me either.
About like the letter R.
Right.
They fuck up the letter R.
Or was it L?
No, it's L. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Jeez, I hope this doesn't ruin my whole bit. Hold on.
Don't worry.
I just have to change the letter R to L. Yes. L.
That's how they think when they're speaking English. Like
the letter L's self-righteousness. My bad. L.
Error.
Isn't a friendly sound, okay? We're always giving Asian shit. The letter L, it's not intuitive to pronounce. Here's my proof. Okay, when you make fun of somebody with a lisp, not that any of us do that around here.
Right.
That's sort of the letter that they fuck up. See, that ruined the bit because it's R's that they fuck up. L and R is a confusing little thing.
What if you just run through it?
Okay, kids with lisps, right?
Read it how it's...
Yeah, sure. Kids with lisps. They have trouble saying it, right? So it's like, that's an easy letter to get tripped up on. A baby. I'm not calling Asians babies. What I'm saying is that's sort of what they struggle with. When you send a 3 or a 4-year-old to like speech therapy, that's usually kind of one of the letters that they fuck up, right?
Mm-hmm.
A mentally retarded person, a slow person. I'm not calling Asians slow. I'm saying that there's something before the woke mob comes from my head. Hey, please don't burn this podcast, okay? Don't burn the pod. It's not an easy letter to pronounce. And you know what? And people are going to say that I'm saying something bad about Asians or something, even though I'm defending them here. That they fuck up a letter every single time they say it. But my Asian wife and my Asian in-laws and my 3/4 Asian son, 3/4 because I'm half Asian. Yes, I'm genetically white, but my soul bleeds yellow. So those are my two halves, body and soul. It's an old Zen way of
Soul.
thinking.
Yeah.
And I don't expect your Western mind, or anybody's Western mind for that matter, to follow my way or my Tao, as we say it. Like, you probably think it's pronounced Taoism. But we don't laugh at you for appropriating our culture and pronouncing stuff. We actually, this is crazy. We only invented anime to fuck with the Westerners, to you guys. We don't even like that shit. We only watch reruns of Seinfeld and Cheers.
Whoa.
That's my defense of Asians.
Okay.
It's not an easy letter to pronounce. Everybody fucks it up. I just wanted to have a funny way of saying I have a 3/4 Asian son.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'm working. I think of something funny, and then I think of a ridiculous way to work to it.
Yes. Interesting. Okay. But your defense of L or R was that it is hard. It is harder to say because more people do struggle with it. You had facts. You backed that up.
Logic and reason.
But that logic and reason, the way that you put those ingredients onto your recipe, when we, the audience, heard it and tasted it, it made us feel emotional about it. So you really hit
like a
on
fine
all
curry.
Of them. Yes, like a fine curry, like a
fine curry,
fried rice.
Curry, like a fine rice.
You're telling me that a chicken fried this rice? You ever heard that one?
No, it's pretty good. It was kind of funny. Telling me a chicken. Okay. Well, that's all I had on Asians.
Okay.
What else do you think? What else is going on? All I have seen about Trump lately is that he's like, I see he's been doing rallies and just people bitching about it. So I don't know. There's nothing to talk about there probably, but
yeah, no new Trump news. I wonder if Elon will let him back on Twitter. I guess he's saying that he would.
Yeah, I think he did say that a while back. That would be incredible. But what about Truth Social? Does he own that? That's his thing, right? Truth is Trump's thing.
No, I don't know if he owns it, but
I have a Truth account. Do you?
No, I don't.
I don't know.
Kanye bought Parler.
Ooh.
And
who owned that originally?
Oh, in the Piers Morgan interview, Kanye did say that like Joe Biden was I think I sent that clip to you, like called him fucking retarded because he wasn't meeting with Elon Musk every week.
How do you spell Parler weird or something? Is that why it's not coming up?
I don't know.
Without an O?
Yeah, I don't know.
I miss the O Kanye. Rip him the go Kanye. I hate the Jews Kanye. That's never gonna.
Parler.
What does that even mean? Rolling Stone.
Parlay.
What is Rolling Stone? When did they like move out of? I need to learn about the history of Rolling Stone because I don't understand how they went from music. I don't understand how they went from being a band to thinking they should talk about everything, folks.
Seriously.
No, but why are they talking about Kanye's buying an app that's been hemorrhaging users for a year? What does that even fucking mean? I'm not clicking on it.
Yeah, what the fuck? How did Rolling Stone even get their name? Was there not like a conflict of interest, or did the Rolling Stones, did they start a news publication, then just like hand it off to just like, I don't know, retarded people?
I'm not trying to expose your bit, but isn't it crazy that it's like you run the risk of just people thinking you're actually retarded there?
I mean, it is a serious question.
No, well, actually, I don't know the history of it. I've admitted to it.
See?
But it's related to the band, Rolling Stone.
I know that, but I'm saying, like, did the Rolling Stones say, like,
if you call a band or you call your magazine after us?
Yeah. Or maybe they were like, oh, let's name a magazine. We'll call it Rolling Stone. It's not the same thing. So they could like avert any lawsuits by calling it Rolling Stone.
Boom. This might be a good way to start doing impressions on
instead of the Rolling Stones. Maybe, well, Rolling Stone is a phrase, right? There's that Beatles song, Dig It Like a Rolling Stone. What does that even mean, folks?
Mama, Papa.
Mama, I'm Rolling
Papa
Stone.
Was a Rolling Stone.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ramblin' Man. Doesn't say anything about a Rolling Stone, but sort of the same idea.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what it should have been. Rambling Man. We should start a magazine. You know how much work? No, you know how much work that would be.
Yeah, that would not be fun.
Since you were fucking on top of Vogue for years.
Yeah,
you were the editor of Vogue,
climbing the ranks. But I threw it all away to do a podcast from the ground up. Anybody can go into an institution and type away at the typewriter for 9 hours a day. But we're building something from the ground up. We grabbed some dirt, waited until it rained, and turned to mud, molded that mud into a podcast studio, waited for the thunderstorm to get the electricity to make the microphones work.
Ooh,
what have you done today?
Baby. They work. Yeah. I have a new segment idea.
What's up? What's that?
Well, it's something we've done a little bit, and I mean, I have to preface this like I have to preface everything.
Okay.
But from
you
an
wrote this when you were still also mad at me.
No. I'm just saying that I sort of I write all these ideas out, and then I'm like, well, where's I almost said your government name. Here's my new segment idea. From an early age, I realized I had little to no talent. Sort of my stage mom who dragged me by the ear across the parking lot when I got canned from my job on Elmo Goes to Grouchland as an extra / stuntman / personal assistant to a 65-year-old Jewish producer. That was already written in there. Wow. But it was at that point, as a 4-year-old, eyes as wide as a newborn fawn, probably because I had a 64-year-old Jewish man in my backside, that I decided to dedicate my life to becoming the best damn talent appraiser in the world. So as you know, I've worked for one of the top talent agencies in West Hollywood for nearly 3.5 decades. And as you know, and I'm sure a lot of our fans know, I was featured in People magazine last year, March 2021. I highlighted my meteoric career trajectory, but mostly emphasized my on-again, off-again relationship with Olivia Rodrigo. Good for you. The following month, I think she was 18 at that point, but you guys can do the math. The following month, when I was actually on the cover of People's magazine, didn't I just say I was on it? I was featured on it. Now I'm on the cover of People's magazine. Big, bold letters that says, Steven, this generation's Simon Cowell. No question mark. It was stated as a matter of fact that I'm the best appraiser of talent from an objective lens. So that's why this is the new segment. Just YouTuber reviews. We're already doing it.
Oh my. Okay.
But so you and me, the
We're
idol
YouTubers.
You, me, the idol playboy in your ward, will discuss YouTubers. I don't know. I just needed a fucking see. That's what I mean. I just needed a way to get to that,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what came out. Newborn font, 65-year-old Jewish man. Dude, I don't want to get. What if the channel got deleted over some stupid shit like that?
I kind of cut those things. Sometimes I
What,
just
are you
like
gonna
cut
do,
them.
bleep out Jewish?
No,
I'm Jewish. I can say it.
Okay.
And
Then
I'm
I
talking
might
about-
take that part and then put it like right before like you say that other
Okay.
part.
Steven is Jewish. I'll even be Stevenstein. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Stevenstein.
It's like a fucking Wolfstein or whatever.
Yeah.
Ramstein. Sorry, I'm getting shit mixed up.
Rams.
YouTube review. Well, those were my great ideas of the day. I've got a whole other thing for
What
next
channel
week,
are we
but-
going to review? We should like review like Smosh, right?
Well, if anybody actually listens this far into the video, into the podcast, and actually cares, I'm not doing this if you're still listening,
Yeah.
but I'm being honest. If you are listening and you actually have somebody that we should review that's like maybe a little bit more niche,
Yeah.
we'll think of some obvious ones. If you got somebody niche,
Don't say like review bruh either, because that's been done to death.
yes, he'll probably just come up at some other point because have like so many memories of watching his videos that there's like 4 or 5 highlights that probably aren't highlights to other people,
Mm-hmm.
but I could be brought up. So
I actually, sorry, quick anecdote.
Don't ever fucking cut me off. No, I'm just kidding.
I found his channel when he had like 15,000 subscribers, and like one of my friends, I was only friends with him on Xbox. Actually, he was a YouTuber, and he was like, look at this channel. This is like insane. This guy like puts on a suit like every single video and like reviews energy drinks, because he used to only review energy drinks. And we would just like watch it and like laugh. And then now he has like 3 million subscribers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think I first saw him like 2017, so I don't know how much earlier that would have been. I'm trying to think. I'm finding this one
this
channel.
was in like 2013, like long time ago, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, this channel, Behavior Panel, they do like all the body language stuff.
Yeah.
The interviews and stuff. I found them when they had 20,000 subscribers. They're at 659,000.
Whoa.
But that's like a niche one that I was like, yeah, this is going to be big.
It's too bad that YouTube channels aren't like stocks where it's like you can put like $10 like down on them, and then when their channel grows, like you get to steal their money.
That's a great idea. Is there
Yeah.
anything like that? Just
Tubestock.
investing.
Tubestock. Tubecoin. I knew about PewDiePie when he had probably maybe less than 1 million subscribers, which is not. If you were just old enough to like use YouTube in 2012, then you knew about PewDiePie before he had 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, it's funny because like a lot of that stuff, I feel like I probably was early to or whatever. Even stuff that was like mega viral that everybody remembers now, like Charlie Bit My Finger. Like I think I saw that in 2008. I don't know if it was even out yet, but I definitely saw it before it came out.
I'm trying to.
Oh, that was supposed to be a stupid thing that I said, but
Oh,
because how would I see it if it's not on the internet yet?
yeah, that's true.
Huh?
You ordered the VHS tape. Funny viral
But it's funny too,
VHS
because I
cut.
remember seeing other videos, like, because I would have like a repertoire of like videos that like when I was with a friend, we would just like watch the same, like, we wouldn't even show them the first time. It would be like, oh, we're sitting down in front of the computer. Let's watch that video we laughed our ass off at. And we'd have like 10 videos at any given time. And like new things would come into the rotation. Other things would be out of the rotation.
Did you ever, I think I've asked you this before, but have you ever watched SpongeBob Saw? Like someone in like MS Paint just like made SpongeBob characters react to the Saw movies. That's like an old. I remember being so scared to watch those. The Jigsaw doll scared the shit out of me.
Dude, the first video that I ever saw on YouTube, I actually remember my brother showed me, was I'm not gonna remember his name now. I'd say his last name is Lynch or something, but he's a comedian who he does song parodies. Stephen Lynch. No shit. His name's Stephen, I think. Stephen Lynch. I just remember that, like, as a moment of like my brother being like, I'm going to show you this video on YouTube. And I was like 8.
Mm-hmm.
No, Stephen Lynch is a U.S. representative.
Oh, okay. I think the first video I watched was...
No, it is. It is Stephen Lynch, American comedian. What's the first video you watched?
I think I remember my dad watching this one, like, Brian Regan ironing board skit. And someone just, like, again, used Microsoft Paint to, like, reenact it, like a little animation. Another early video I remember watching was like, I would always watch like Weird Al music videos on YouTube whenever I would just like watch it by myself, and then I would watch like Lego versions of Weird Al music videos.
I don't remember ever watching that shit. Although I do remember some Weird Al music videos. The Star Wars parody one's pretty funny, right?
Mm-hmm. That was the American Pie.
Yeah. I had like Weird Al CDs. Like,
really?
Yeah.
We had an MP3 player, so I had a lot of his music on an MP3 player. Weird Al was the first concert I went to.
What year was that? What was his album then?
I don't know. It was in 2009.
Oh, was that his Alpocalypse or something like that?
Sounds
Hold on,
right.
I just had it pulled up. I'm actually trying to do. No, that's Kanye.
Wrong genius.
Yeah. Have you seen the Daniel Radcliffe thing?
Yeah. I want to see that movie. I'm excited to see it.
It's like, it looks very funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like
too real.
Huh?
It's like too real. It's like hyper realistic.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with your postmodern fucking.
Oh, well, the trailer, it's like obviously like not realistic.
Yeah, it's an exaggerated thing.
So my joke there was saying it was actually very realistic. I love the way my voice did
2011.
that. 2011. Okay.
So I don't know. Straight Outta Linwood was 2006. So I had Running with Scissors as Straight Outta Linwood. Imagine like being a parent and your retarded kid is just like, I want to listen to Weird Al.
I feel like that's better than some of the other garbage music, like You a Stupid Hoe by Nicki Minaj. Do you ever remember seeing things on social media where people would just like take 2 screenshots, one of that song and then one of like Bohemian Rhapsody's lyrics, and they're like, what happened to music?
Yeah.
But yeah, Weird Al's kind of, that is weird if your kid is into that and you're like, oh, okay.
I just always thought he was funny.
I'm gonna have to
Running with Scissors, best one. That's my opinion. Moving on. Oh, I have a couple other things. Okay. No beef of the week. I'm making sure Newman guy died from a heart attack, question mark.
Yeah, you got that.
I have a little bit of a rant here. It's not much of a rant, and it's not even actually written out. And I haven't thought too much about it, but I think it's total bullshit. And this thing, and you hear it all the time. You've heard it. Everybody's heard this, right? In the South, in Kansas, you might call it pop, and in California, you might call it soda. But in the South, a Coke is everything. Mm-hmm. That thing, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Everything's a Coke. I think that's bullshit. I think that's not real. I think that's a made up thing.
Sounds kind of made up.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I just now noticed. I've probably been hearing this microphone the whole time. I think it's made up, though.
It sounds made up. I wouldn't.
I think it was probably real at one time. But,
yeah.
But dude, things are way too corporate and like commercials. Like people in the South see commercials.
Yeah. They're not. Yeah. I think there's probably a lot of.
Like nobody goes in and goes, I'd like a Coke, please. And they just can bring back any fucking soda.
Right.
Oh, they might bring back a Pepsi. I just said Coke. That could mean anything. I think it's a bullshit thing. I don't know why it's bothered me. I thought maybe
it's kind of like with people with Southern accents when they talk. I feel like Theo Vaughn. Like I remember watching him on like Joe Rogan's podcast, and you'd like look at the comments, and even Joe would say this to Theo. He's like, "Now a lot of people think you're a fucking retard because you have a Southern accent." It's like the default for anyone with a Southern accent is like they're a deadbeat dipshit who doesn't know anything. So yeah, I get what you're saying. It is.
I just
stupid.
think it's weird. Like, there's no way that there's that confusion. How would you even know? How would you know?
Right.
And things. No, people watch commercials. They see Pepsi on TV all the time. They go, "Can I fucking get a Pepsi?" Just because I'm from the South, I'm not gonna call it a Coke.
Like they're what? It's like they're so stupid. Their taste buds can't even like differentiate the sodas, so they just call it Coke. Yeah, I don't think so. Shout out to my Southern brothers.
Did you ever go to did you go to the swimming pool a lot when you were a kid, like during the summers and stuff?
Yeah,
Or did you have a
actually,
pool,
my
or-
first job was a lifeguard. I protected lives.
How many times did you have to jump in?
For real, I don't actually think I had to ever, but there were kids who would pretend to drown. Our boss would like pick a kid, give him a candy bar, and then they'd have to go pretend to drown
That's
to see if we were like actually washing the water.
fucking false flag. I don't like that.
I know, right?
So did you had to save like a fake drowning kid?
Yeah, you could usually tell too. So
Dude, they're probably at the pool all the time too. If they
yeah, exactly. The kid that I've just like watched swim around the entire pool like 2 or 3 times. And it's funny too, because they like stare at you, they stare at the lifeguard, and they just like kind of flop a little bit. And so it's like you can tell by how fake they are being that it's like, oh, you were sent by the manager for me to, okay, here, I'm going to jump in and whatnot. So some baby like almost drowned. He like walked too far in the deep end, and this other lifeguard just like was not paying attention. And luckily, I think the lifeguard who was talking to him like just jumped in and just kind of picked up the baby. I mean, he wasn't like submerged or anything, but yeah, Richard just wasn't fucking paying attention.
I sucked dick at swimming for a long time.
I also taught swimming. I sucked dick while swimming for a long time.
That's why I
also
quit.
taught swimming lessons to kids, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, you would have hated me. And I know the age.
You were afraid of water?
No, what would happen is I had to take the beginning swim class 2 years in a row. I think I was 4 and then 5. And both years I failed the easiest thing ever. It's going under the water and picking up a penny. And it's 3 foot water, and I'm probably like 3'3" at the time. You know what I mean? Like I literally nothing, and I like couldn't get to the bottom to get a penny. So I failed it. So I never passed swim lessons. So it's to this day I don't know how to swim. No, I'm just kidding. But I taught myself when I was like 11 because it was like all my friends were swimming. I was like, okay, we're just gonna hang out in the baby end forever. Just hanging out with the babies.
You guys go ahead. I'm gonna wait for the bucket to fill with water again and splash me.
Well, no, the way out of it was the basketball hoop was on the low end, so you could play like. So that was my excuse. Like, no, I just want to stay over here and play basketball. I'm not a pussy. And then the other thing too was then I got to the deep end and everybody's like, well, can you do a flip off the diving board? Which I never figured out how to do.
I did the front flip, but some people could do like back flips. I wasn't that advanced.
Even diving, and obviously if you're listening and you are listening, you're not going to be able to see this, but you know, like a good dive is, you know,
you go in like your hands are above your head and you go in at like that slant. You dive.
Are we still talking about swim? We talking about getting pussy right now, folks. But the way I would do it is I would literally just do like that, or like half bend myself.
Yeah.
And then still
it's like kind of
like almost do a belly flop.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dive at all.
Some kids I would do that. I remember seeing they're like, I'm gonna dive, and they would just like belly flop.
We had probably from like the ages like 9, like probably 10 to 13, I went to the pool like every day all summer. Like I used to get like really tan, and my mom would just be like, "You look Puerto Rican." I'm like, "Mom, I'm half Asian." Callback joke, folks. No, but we had this kid there named Perry, and he was like incredibly like probably like autistic or something. I don't know. He was weird, and he would just like follow girls around, and we would just be like, "Perry, go touch her ass," you know, and be like, "Go touch that 18-year-old lifeguard's ass," you know. And he's he's like 10, and we're like a year. I think we're like a year or two older than him. And we just call him Perry the Platypus. So I didn't even watch that fucking kid, Phineas and Ferb, but Perry the Platypus, very funny joke. And we're like, oh, Perry's getting here. And he just autistically walk in. Like, go touch her ass, Perry. And then we were like, Perry, your mom just called the pool. That's the prank we used to play on everybody. It'd be like, oh, your mom just called the pool. Like, Perry, your mom's here looking for you. And we get people to leave the pool and have to pay to come back in and stuff like that.
That's fun.
But we're like, oh, Perry.
How old were you guys?
We were probably 11, 12, like 11.
Okay, so it's a little bit older than him.
We were like a year older than him, a year or two older than him, but he was
That's
severely, you know, deficient mentally.
Yeah.
So it's not okay. But
I'll keep
we're
going.
like
I've got a
Perry.
story.
We're like, Perry, your mom just called and she wants us to tell you that she's pregnant. And he's like, I think my mom had an operation so she couldn't have any more kids. And somebody's like, oh, her tubes got tied? And he's like, I think her tubes got taken out. The whole thing, I just remember it so clearly. We were just bullying him and being like, your mom called, she's pregnant.
I remember one time I went to a water park with one of my friends and we were playing basketball and like this kid with Down syndrome, he just like comes along and he doesn't obviously like doesn't talk to us, but he like, we can tell by the look in his eyes that he wants to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I like hand him the basketball and so he just like throws the ball in the vicinity of the goal and I grab it and I throw it back to my friend and he just like jumps on my friend and like tries to like bite him and like is attacking my friend. And so my friend just like fought him off and like pushed him off and all of that stuff. And yeah, I remember, I will just never forget like, oh, this would be a nice thing to like hand him the basketball. And then you do. And it's like, he wants to fucking eat my friend. And
yeah, there's always a kid like that at every swimming pool. I think
there was
the biting kid, which I think Perry probably overlapped with him a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'll have to look up Perry later, see if he's even alive.
We had someone that was in my grade. He was kind of probably similar to Perry. He tried out to be a lifeguard and obviously didn't get it. So he just got to work the concession stand the entire time, which really sucked because the way that the rotations are, it's like the first half of the day, if you work all day long, you know, you're outside, but then the second half of the day, you get to work the concession stand. But whenever he was there, he would just work the concession stand the whole day. Sucked, but
I'm trying to think of concession stand stories because that's a big part of every swimming pool too.
It
I feel
is,
like.
Yeah. The cold. We
asking
would
like my grandma every day too,
yeah.
being like, "Oh, can I get like $1? Like, can you give me $1?" And she always did, but whatever. But then I'd be like, can I get the fucking honey bun for 50 cents?
Yeah, I'll get the honey bun. I'll get the fruit roll up, and I've got another 25 cents. So later, I might get, I guess, another fruit roll up, unless someone wants to give me their 25 cents, and then we can share like a bag of M&Ms or something. Yeah. Good times, good memories.
Okay, I have. I got a user question. No, that was good. I want to see. We need more stuff like that. That might have been the best thing of the whole episode.
That might have, yeah.
Pool. Okay, Taylor G from North Carolina writes. This will be the end because I know you probably got to get going here.
Yeah.
Taylor G from North Carolina writes, "Hey Steves, what are some of your most value? This bitch can't write. What are some of your most valuable?" I think she's trying to ask, what's your most valuable prized possession? Also, Steven, will you have sex with me even though I have BPD and want to scream at you for your stupid voice and low energy? I'll have sex with you.
Is this like a Fed?
I think so, but this is definitely a real person. That's not me that wrote this.
Like a real Fed, yeah.
So what's your most valuable possession?
I'm not saying that. I can't say it on the podcast. I don't even know what my most prized possession is because both my computers like suck. So
well, because I sift through all the fan mail and we get physical fan mail. Yes,
the actual letters.
It's not written in the email or comments.
Right.
It's just somebody dotting their I's with a heart. I'll tell you the 3 most important things to me off the top of my head. I haven't thought about this ahead of time. One is my Mickey Mantle rookie card, valued at $12 million. I accidentally laminated it and it lost 80% of its value, but that's up there. Second is probably well, I've got a few of these. Probably my 32-inch Chilean cactus rainmaker stick because it makes a soothing noise. I have no idea if that picked up. That's an actual rainmaker, motherfuckers. What'd you say? You hear that? Is that raining?
I can't. I don't know if I can.
Aha. Yeah, it's coming through. And the third thing would probably be the Live, Laugh, Love pillow that the special needs kid made in home ec for me back when I was a special needs teacher at Northridge Academy High School. Remember that?
Yeah.
Go Pumas.
Go Pumas.
I actually got fired because I used the word retarded. I called the kid retarded, but it wasn't one of the normal kids. It was one of the normal.
That's how they could report it.
Yeah, because if it was so good, there's no way he wouldn't have even been able to pronounce the R in retarded.
They wouldn't have been able to
call back.
Exactly, yeah.
Retarded. See? I made a note that I say retarded too much on this podcast. But retard's going to come back in a major way. Actually, I think it already has.
I think so too, yeah.
So just chill out about it. There's actually a good chance that I'd rather hang out with, no, this for sure. I would rather hang out with actual retards than people that would get offended.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So true.
And they could be like, I might be retarded, but I'll still be offended, Steven.
Have you tried, I guess this might be the last thing we say.
Yeah.
Have you tested the waters before? Like to people, you're like, I don't know how they're going to handle it, so I'm going to say it and see what they do. And have you had it go poorly?
Oh, the retard word?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
Where you just like know that they just got uncomfortable like immediately.
Yeah, definitely in college, there's like people that you'd say like retard in front of, and you'd see like their body language change or something. And then like the people that their body language opens up right away, you're like, yeah,
Yes.
you get it. You know it.
I remember one time there's this one kid, he was like about to say retarded. He was like, yeah, I mean, it was just like so ridiculous or something.
That's a good save.
And we were like, look, you can say retarded around here. Like you're safe over here.
Yeah, you need to have a safe, like, depending on how far you get into the word, you need to have like a bailout word for all of these words. You know, but if you get all the way to retard, you need to retardant. You know, it needs to be a retard.
Yeah, that's retardant.
Or retardo, and just go, si, español.
Yeah. Retardant, and you point at something and it's like a fire extinguisher. And
Yeah,
like, see
so have
flame
a fire
retardant.
extinguisher on hand at all times.
Yes.
So you can. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was a great podcast. Great episode. Maybe the best we've ever done. I don't know how you feel.
I feel pretty good. I can't believe I didn't have anything prepped and we talked. We didn't get too nostalgic. We don't need to review this now. But anyways, thanks for listening.
Amen, v'amen. Shout out to my Jews.